Tune in as we discover the pros and cons of living in Boise, Idaho. Before we dive in, be sure to subscribe as I put out videos more than weekly that'll teach you all about Boise and the surrounding area. Also, this is an all-inclusive list, so if you have anything that you think I missed, please add it to the comments, or if you have any other good comments, please add them below as well. First pro is Boise's cost of living. As soon as you're here, you'll notice the low property taxes, low income taxes. It's a great place to be. It's not like you're paying an arm and a leg for real estate like you're in downtown Honolulu or the Bay or downtown Denver or anything like that. It's a really low cost of living. The con to that is that we have rising home costs. The cat is out of the bag, so to speak, and people are finding out that this is a great place to live for cost of living. So those rising home costs are definitely going up, 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 and up. Which takes us to pro number 2. There's a ton of growth here in the Boise Valley. That's awesome for local businesses, the economy. It's great because there's more things to do, there's entertainment, there's better places to shop at, all that type of stuff. But growth has to be welcomed with good infrastructure, and that's con number 2. The infrastructure here in Boise, I wouldn't say is at its peak. We're probably growing at a faster rate than the infrastructure can handle, while at the same time, it is sufficient. This is not a place where people are moving away from, so it's not that bad. It's just that we could use a step up or two when it comes to the infrastructure to provide for all that growth. Which takes us to pro number 3. Boise and the surrounding area are built on a grid. Now, not downtown Boise, but the surrounding areas. So if you go a mile west and 2 miles north, or 2 miles north and 1 mile west, it's all the same. It's almost gonna be the same time to get there. It's super easy to learn and super easy to get around. But because of that, the con is there's more traffic because that's where all the cars are, on those main roads, on that grid system. And unfortunately, we don't have public transportation. We do, but it's pretty sparse. To take you from point A to point B, you really rely on your own transportation for that. Pro number 4, Boise's weather is amazing. We have a true 4 seasons. Starting in the winter in January, the weather will be cold for a couple months, then hit a spring for a few months, and that spring brings its rain showers, thunderstorms, a little bit warmer temps, and then takes us to the summer. The first couple months of summer, we're 85 to 95, and then we have 2 or 3 weeks of, 1 to 3 weeks of 100 degrees, depending on the summer. And then we'll hit a couple months of fall where the leaves are changing, it's beautiful weather, hoodies are on, people have got their pumpkin spice frappa lattes and all those things that they call them, and it's just a good time. And then we go into Boise's winter, which starts mid-November-ish, end of November, and lasts, again, like I've already talked about, through the next few months. The cons to Boise's weather is you do get a couple extremes, and so you have the snow in the winter, and sometimes you get what we call inversions, and without getting too geeky, what it is air gets trapped below a certain level, and so your exhaust and everything doesn't escape. It's kind of crazy. They last anywhere from a day to 3 weeks. Usually they're only a couple days long, and you get them once or twice a winter. And in the summer, that 100-degree weather can be a little bit hot on the back. Number 5 pro to living in Boise, Idaho is the Greenbelt and the Boise River. The Greenbelt has about 30 miles of trails going in and out, or over, across and under bridges, over water, everything else, alongside 20 miles of the Boise River. Now, the con to Boise is that it's built on a desert. So you literally exit the city limits and you're probably in sagebrush. But because desert soil is so fertile, you actually get, because of the river and the canals and all that we've done to build water infrastructure, you get a very fertile valley. When you hike up, let's say Table Rock or Camel's Back and look over the valley, it is a super green valley. Fun fact for you of little known use is Boise comes from the name Le Bois, which is French, which, if I'm not mistaken, means the trees. So, city of trees, Boise. It's built in the desert, but the water makes the trees flourish. How can we talk about Boise without talking about number 6, Boise State football? We love Boise State football. We love our blue turf. We love everything about it. They're our hometown. They're our pride and joy. Because, con, we don't have professional sports. So while you can't go hit an NBA game or an NHL game or a baseball game at night, you can hit minor league teams here in the Valley as well. So Boise State football, Boise State basketball, Boise State gymnastics are actually really good. We have minor league hockey, minor league baseball, minor league basketball. So we have quite a few of those minor leagues. We're just not big enough to hit that professional level yet. Which takes us to point number 7. our pro of we are still a small town. Some of the big city folk don't like that. They want a bigger town. Great. We're not for everyone, but we are a small town that loves safety. We're a walking downtown. Some of the greatest parts about this small town is that we're a little bit less than 1 million people here in the valley. That includes Boise, Meridian, Eagle, Cuna, Star, Middleton, Nampa, Caldwell, all those areas. And so we still have a lot of the small town, kind, friendly, gentle, loving community, while at the same time we are large enough to attract some of the bonuses of a larger city. Now, part of that small town is that we are isolated, and that would be a con. We're isolated. It takes you to go to Portland, Seattle, Denver, Salt Lake, about an hour flight, give or take 15, 20 minutes. And if you want to do it in a car, it's 6, 8, 5, 12 hours to hit those places up. So we are a little bit isolated, and that is a con of Boise, is you have to kind of prepare yourself to go anywhere decently big. We're a small city, but we're still big enough to have Walmarts, Targets, Costco's, Albertsons, Winco's, and actually Amazon just built a huge, I think it's 380,000 square foot warehouse here in Boise, Nampa area. So we are small, growing, and we have enough stores for the small towners to feel like they're in a big city and big city people to feel like they're in a small city. If you can find a silver lining in being isolated, there's a huge one, and that is the outdoors. Forests, mountains, lakes, waterfalls, trails, just beautiful scenery at your fingertips. Within a couple hours, you can be in very diverse landscapes, and there's a lot to play on when it comes to the outdoors and the wilderness that surround the Boise area. The number 8 pro to living in Boise, Idaho is our HOAs. The HOAs run Boise and the surrounding area. When you're driving down a main road, you'll see grasses and trees before you see a house, and that's because they give a little buffer. The HOA pays for that, and it makes the town and city look so great. That feel is really good. In fact, HOAs a lot of times, most times for you Californians, this is good for you to know. Instead of paying your water bill separate to water your lawn, the HOA actually provides that. So in your HOA bill, you're actually gonna get that water to water your lawn. Not always, but 95% of the time maybe. The con to the HOAs is that, well, we have HOAs. You know, HOAs are loved and hated, and the reason they're hated is because they're the judge, the jury, and the executioner, right? So if you leave your garbage can out too long, according to some entity that says that's out too long, you're gonna get fined, or you're gonna get warned. Or your trailer's in the driveway too long, or it's in the street too long, or you had too many people over the one night or whatever. There can be that bad side of the HOA, but all in all, the HOA is there to protect your value of your home, so that when you go to sell, you're gonna collect as much equity as possible, because the surrounding area and the homes don't have crazy paint colors, don't have 3 cars parked in the driveway, and all that type of stuff. Number 9 pro to what is so great about living in Boise, Idaho, is the conservative values here in the valley. Yeah, there's people that are Republican, there are people that are Democrat. I'm talking more about the conservative hearts and the values that these people bring. Every person I talk to, every person without exception, is getting out of their state and coming to our state because of the conservative values, and they want to raise their children or their family, or they want to be here by themselves, whatever the situation may be, so that they can escape overreaching governments. This is a great place to be when it comes to conservative values. The con to that is people say there are too many Californians. You know what? People who are like-minded are moving here. I talk to people every day, if not every day, multiple people each week who share the same values as us locals. And they want to be here so they can enjoy thinking and acting like we do, because they believe in that same stuff. So that's a con to some locals, that there's too many Californians. But I'll tell you what, I welcome you guys. Obviously, that's what I do for a living, but I am proud to share this state with you guys. And whether it's from California, Seattle, Portland, Salt Lake, the Bay, Phoenix, Dallas, wherever you're coming from, Albuquerque, I've had a few from there too, we welcome you. The last pro we're gonna talk about, number 10, is Boise's little airport. I love our airport. I'm gonna try to do my best without looking at my notes and tell you where we fly to. We fly to Minneapolis, Chicago, Denver, Dallas, Houston, Phoenix, Vegas, San Diego, LAX, San Francisco, San Jose, Oakland, Sacramento, Portland, Seattle, Spokane, and then there's all sorts of little jumper flights, like, you know, a little tiny flight from Boise to Idaho Falls, or Everett, Washington, or Palm Springs, which is coming in November, things like that. There's different tiny little flights, but those are all our direct flights. Now the cons to that is it is a small airport, right? So if you're hoping to have 18 choices how to fly to New York City today, or 10 choices on how to get to LAX today, you might have to take a stopover flight. For me, I'll take it. Going to the airport, there's no traffic. Going through security, easy breezy. And then entering a terminal where there's only 22 total terminals in one airport, in 3 restaurants, not a big deal to me. I love that because I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I'm not leaving 5 hours to the airport just so that I can miss traffic or just in case miss traffic. I count on Boise because it's so simple and easy. And if I need to take a stopover to get to my final destination, in my opinion, well worth it. If there was anything that I missed on my all-inclusive top 10 pros and cons to living in Boise, Idaho, drop a comment below, hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and better yet, if you want a relocation guide sent to you, I need your name and your email. Get it by clicking the button below in the description. I think it's the 3rd line down. There's a description that tells you how to get your hands on this guy. It's almost 100 pages of awesome information, full color. It tells you about the schools, the area, the climates, a lot of the stuff I've gone over. But thanks for watching. I appreciate you.